Well, guys, today is a very, very sad day. Today is the final pit stop show episode of the year. And man, oh man. I didn't think we would get to this point ever again, but here we are. Episode 42 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. Last one of the year. Guys, oh my gosh. We've had a crazy way to cap off the 2021 season. So, I mean, first of all, before we get on down to it, first, let's just say welcome to the final episode of the year. As always, Mr. Elijah Leonard. To the left, that is Mr. Josh Chipton. To the bottom left, that is Sean Ard. And right underneath me, he doesn't have his camera on, but he will eventually. It's Mr. Wyatt Walker.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
He's out on the road, so he's on his way back from work, and, you know, gotta love internet connection these days. So, gentlemen. We did not understand a single thing you said.
I was gonna say, I have no clue.
I want a car.
So, gentlemen, to the people that actually do have good internet connection, let's talk about Phoenix. Oh boy!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness gracious, Phoenix. Holy bejeeber nuggets. I haven't said that in a while.
A Deaver Nugget?
Yeah, I haven't said that in a long time. But still, Phoenix. I'm not really gonna hype it up. I'm just gonna sit back and let you guys explain your thoughts. What you think of Phoenix?
Alright, so
I don't know. It's a winner fan. Actually, not just different like 50 they had this year. One was good, one we all knew, but the other two, they kind of surprised us at the same time they did it. And y'all didn't hear a damn thing I said, did you?
We only heard a little bit.
part.
A little bit. It was the last bit of what you were saying. That's all we
I
heard.
heard that last sentence. I didn't hear a daggone thing, did you?
I had how the gas we on the hearing.
Alright.
Alright. Josh, take it away.
Okay, so I honestly didn't think until the end that the truck race was really all that interesting. The Xfinity race I thought was okay. It's a decent way to end the season. Well, if you look at the overall thing, the finish obviously was freaking that was wild. But the Cup race, I feel like for once this year the Cup race was the most interesting race of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And what a way to send the Gen 6 car out, by the way. That was a good race. And congratulations to Ben Rhodes, Daniel Hemrick,
Yeah.
and Kyle Larson, our newest champions in the top 3 NASCAR series.
How about you, Sean?
I'm gonna agree that the truck race as a whole was eh. But then that Xfinity Series races, the Xfinity Series race just is like question mark after question mark after question mark. You get so many questions, and it just now makes people think, like, yeah, okay, the finish. Nobody thought that was going to be how the race was going to end.
Right.
But it's just how it caused some problems. Like, my own opinion was I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't even expect Hemrick to somehow come out of left field and somehow win.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I was expecting. But then Larson, we all kind of agree. It was pretty much said ever since we got into the playoff. It was Larson. And luckily, that's how it ended, with Larson just taking it off.
We all pretty much knew that right from the beginning of the chase. He would go straight to the Final Four, ultimately win the title. You knew it was going to happen one way or another with the season that Larson was having. You knew it was going to happen. But man, though, Larson, the comeback story, I'd say, ever. I'd say this is the best comeback story I've ever seen. Probably in all the years that I've been a fan of the sport, I've never seen any comeback like that before. The amount of adversity that Larson had faced, from letting a racial slur slip, and then all of a sudden his whole world crashes down. Ganassi fires him, and then all of his sponsors leave him. He gets banned from iRacing. World of Outlaws is pretty much the only other place that would let him race. Then there's a little glimmer of hope where NASCAR says, "Hey, you can come back, but you gotta complete the sensitivity training first." Hendrick signs him on. The ball doesn't get rolling until Las Vegas, and all of a sudden, here we are. 9 more wins later after Vegas. 10 wins. He ended the season off with a perfect 10. And with the championship as well to cap it off, man. What more could how could you script a comeback any better, to be honest?
You can't, really. I'm going to say that you can't script that any other way. It probably will go down as maybe one of the greatest comebacks in probably the sport's history.
I personally would say so. I don't even know what he said.
He definitely owned it.
I'm sorry, Wyatt. I'm sorry you're having such difficult right now.
I'm having a hard time understanding you. And then let's take a stroll further down the ladder. And Daniel Hemrick. This man has come close so many times to getting his first win. It's not even funny anymore. The only
Backflip's back, boys.
The backflip's back. But you want to know did you know the motivation behind why Hemrick did so well this year? Is because part of the reason of the 10 second place finishes was if he didn't finish inside of the top 10, he didn't get paid.
Yeah, if y'all hadn't heard about this, man. Woo!
I question that now, because why would a team just do that?
Well, it was a part of I guess it was more of a motivational trait. I mean, it wasn't to kind of say screw you to Daniel Hemrick. It was more of something that's just like, how bad do you want a championship? And you got to do something. You got to pull some strings in order for them to actually perform really well, better than they've ever performed ever. They've got to reach down deep inside of them. They're further down than they've ever gone, And with that, you got Hemrick, who came into the 2021 season after a very dismal 30-something races that he ran last year, and a majority of them he wrecked in. And then further back with RCR, with his okay time that he had there, comes to Gibbs. He doesn't get his first win until the final race of the season when he's in the Final Four, and he nabs the championship in the same night. The same night. You can't script a Cinderella story any better. He's Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Hemrick. This is the equivalent of me calling Cody Rhodes, Cody Smart. But no.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. But no, man. Like, Daniel Hemrick, I feel like, is a true example of what being a bridesmaid is really like. You know, man. He's been the bridesmaid so many times. And here he is. Holding the championship trophy and also a race winning trophy in the same night.
But again, none of us actually thought that was gonna happen.
No.
I know we talked last week. We didn't have him even in that spot to win.
Some of us had him as dark horse, and
Dark
that
horses,
was it.
But yeah, that was it. Nobody thought, oh, well, how about we put him as a champion? Because none of us thought that was gonna happen.
I'm fairly sure. Let me look back here. Yeah, I actually had my dark horse as Noah Gragson, and my pick for the champion was Cindric. Cindric, he looked like he was going to get it there for a while. I honestly didn't think Hamrick was going to have anything for him, and I know Cindric's not the most popular guy in the field. I know a lot of people were rooting for Allmendinger, but Cindric, I think statistically, if you look at the points all season, if they'd run full points, Cindric would have had it.
Yeah.
But I know that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. And as much of a purist as I am, I'm not gonna say Daniel Hemrick didn't do what he had to do to win a championship, even though I'm a purist and I'd rather have a full points format. Man did what he had to do, and he's the champion. So absolutely.
Hey, I feel the same way too. So it's not you're not alone in here. I feel the same way.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to say his championship is illegitimate because he won it under the format he was given. That's just how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well, as you saw a few minutes ago, Wyatt did leave because, internet.
Wah, wah, wah.
And then, circling back, and then let's take a look at the truck champion, Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes. Okay. First of all, he's not from a racing family. Secondly, he is the 2014 K&N East champion. Ever since then, he had raced some races in trucks. More notably, he would be more known for racing a limited schedule for Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. It's more memorable than his truck run when he was part-time then, but then at the same time, it's not. So then, he comes down to the truck series full-time for ThorSport. It took a while for him to get the ball rolling. Then he started nabbing wins. And then this year comes around. He's dominant at Daytona, winning the season opener and the road course race. And then kind of falls into this state of consistency, which proved to be enough for him. At Phoenix, wins the title when we all thought that it was going to be John Hunter Nemechek. But he had problems and somehow rebounded to 7th.
Yeah, and I think some of us thought I know some of us put him as like a dark horse, but a champion, that was unexpected also.
It kind of was, man.
Absolutely, and that's the kind of drama you get when you make the championship for a season hinge on a single race with 4 drivers battling for it at the end. It's entertaining, yes, but it's an issue I have with the current state of the playoffs, and I'm not going to bag on it. Like, it's been the same thing has been said for years now, that when you make a championship hinge on a single race, I don't know. There's a part of that devalues the other previous 35 races in the season. But Ben Rhodes, yeah, he was consistent as heck. But again, I'll bring up the full points. John Hunter Nemechek had like an 80+ point lead in pure points going into Phoenix, so he would have locked it up like 2 races before.
Yeah.
At that rate, but you know what? Rhodes did what he had to do. He had the format that he was given. And again, I don't necessarily like the format, but if you win the championship, you're the champion. But I'm going to take a look at some season stats here while I've got it pulled up. Rhodes had 2 wins, 8 top 5s, 16 top 10s, and an average finish of 9.3. He actually had a higher average finish slightly than John Hunter Nemechek did. Just slightly. Because Rhodes was a 9.3, Nemechek's was a 9.8. Not all that different, but still, that is noteworthy. But Nemechek did lead 572 laps as opposed to Rhodes' 99. Nemechek had 5 wins, 12 top 5s, and 16 top 10s. And a lap complete percentage of 92% to Rhodes' holy crud. Rhodes had a 99.5 laps completed percentage this year in trucks.
Wow.
Interesting.
Man, he rivals Denny Hamlin in Cup this year in that regard, I think, because Hamlin completed all but 4 laps.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, it sounds interesting because if Hamlin had completed 4 more laps, then he probably would have done something that I don't think has been done since Matt Crafton Truck Series. You remember 2013? He completed every single lap.
I can't think of anybody else that has ever done that, much less in my lifetime, but ever. I can't think of that right now.
Right.
But
I can't.
man,
Neither have I. I mean, but still, hey, either way, we've got some first-time champions, and if I'm not mistaken, man, hold on. I may have to actually look at, his age in order to confirm this. Oh, man. Okay, so the oldest champion I believe that we do have is Daniel Hemrick at the age of 30. And then Larson, I believe, is 28, and
he's 29 actually.
29. Okay,
you're close
29.
enough.
Okay, still, and then Ben Rhodes was like what, 24?
24.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So Rhodes is the youngest in the group.
Not a single one of them broke the 40 barrier. How long has it been? Not that long, actually.
No, yeah. But, all righty. It is now time to grade Phoenix. So, we're going to go ahead. We're going to start off with Josh. If you could give this weekend a grade from A to F, what would it be and why?
All right. So as far as the racing goes, for the most part, it was half of it was pretty lackluster, particularly in trucks and Xfinity. The latter part of the Xfinity race was actually really interesting, and the latter part of the truck race actually got pretty good once Zane Smith and Ben Rhodes were kind of battling it out there for the championship lead late. But I can't remember the last time I was that glued to a Cup Series race, like all the way through. Like even Martinsville last week, it was like, okay, well. But my gosh, that was such a good way to end the season. Such a great way to send out what I think is going to go down as a criminally underrated car for NASCAR. I know, like 2019, 2020, 2021, particularly with the 550 package, hasn't been the most exciting thing in the world. But then you think about 2013, you think about 2014, 2016, and pieces of 2018. Like, people are gonna remember this, whether they want to admit that it had its bright spots or not. But man, it's a lot of stuff we're saying goodbye to. But back to the focus of the weekend, though. I'm getting a pretty dadgum high score. I'm going a solid A for Phoenix this weekend. I feel like this was a great way for 2021 to go out. I'm not sure how 2022 is going to go because the great unknown surrounding the next gen car. Kind of have an idea about how trucks and Xfinity are going to go. more of the same we've been seeing there, which for the case of Xfinity is fine for me. I just hope the trucks can, I don't know, dial it back on the Rex a little bit. But overall, one of the better Phoenix weekends I can remember. Phoenix is kind of a hit or miss track, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Big hit this weekend for the most part, especially that Cup race, man.
Alrighty. Mr. Sean Ard, how about you?
I still haven't able to continue to have the fact that Phoenix is now our championship track. Like, it did okay. Like, in last year, no, not really, but this year it did okay. It had its good moments, it had its bad moments, it had its questionable moments, and it had its moments where you didn't want to win.
Yeah.
Really, I'm fine. Like, Phoenix has done good, but just how they get this race as the championship, it's not that exciting. Like, it did okay. So the grading I'm gonna give it, to kind of have it at the middle, is a C.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Okay.
Dang.
And well, for once, I'm not the negative Nancy this week. Jeez.
Yeah,
For
Sean.
once.
Sean.
You know what? I respect it.
If the racing was a little bit exciting, then possibly I could have a higher grade. But
I guess we all have different tastes in what we think good racing is. I understand his kind of cynical attitude for Phoenix having the finale. The big reason that it's there is that the owners of the track have deep pockets, and then that big old renovation. It's what it is. It's what it is. Racing is a business, but I just take what I can get. I think it was a pretty solid weekend, but I respect your opinion absolutely.
Oh, well. Yeah, I'd say so. But still, though, C, man, wow. Wasn't really expecting that, but oh boy. So, I mean, I'd say for me, Phoenix. I mean, I feel like I'd say it was a pretty good hit. As far as just like the outcome of just how the championship weekend managed to unfold, man. I mean, with drivers with the Final Four, some drivers of the Final Four having trouble. I mean, here and there, and then obviously with let's say, I mean, drivers having tire issues to wrecks here and there. I mean, to it becoming a mess to where it just all comes full circle near the end. I mean, whether it be like a clean run to the checker flag or a green-white checkered. I mean, no matter what, man. I mean, this weekend definitely delivered when it came to the kind of racing that we saw. I'd say that I would say for sure that the champions very well deserved. I mean, with Ben Rhodes, Daniel Hemrick, and Kyle Larson, very well deserved. I'd say that for sure. Not to say that somebody like Chase Elliott didn't deserve it, because we all know no matter what, he probably would have deserved it anyway. Hard work does pay off, but still, man, Larson, 100%. Had definitely delivered, so I would definitely jump right on that A bandwagon with Josh here, because the racing definitely was a hit. I'd say restarts 100%. They were a mess, all right, but it was a hit. And
I would say, by and large, actually, the restarts were probably the best thing about the truck finale overall. Well, the final laps, again, were interesting, but I said the Cup race was the big highlight. I don't know. It was kind of like how last year it was kind of a cloudy climate. You didn't really have the sun beating down on the racetrack like I think people would like for a good high horsepower, low downforce race.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of like what we saw in Darlington on Mother's Day this year. I don't know. With the sun beating down on the track, it was a pretty nice dynamic with cars kind of slipping and sliding all over the place.
Oh, yeah. But alrighty. So when we come back, we're going to have some topics here set before you for the final show of the year. There's a couple that we can talk about 100% for sure. So stick around, folks. We will be right back. And we're back for episode 42 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. As always, Mr. Elijah Leonard, and alongside that is Mr. Josh Chipton, and to the bottom that is Sean Ard. And guys, first of all, let's go ahead and talk about the lone topic that could have some sort of impact on a place like Nashville Superspeedway. This has just come out, and Josh, I'm pretty sure, would know a little bit more about this than either two of us would. So, Josh, floor is yours, buddy.
All right. So, Adam Stern reported, just a little over an hour ago now at this point, when we're recording this, that SMI has said it has a deal to purchase Dover Motorsports, which owns the Dover International Speedway and the Nashville Superspeedway. Just two tracks, but still two tracks nonetheless. Now, SMI has had a kind of a nasty history recently with taking tracks that they get and, well, reconfiguring them and basically ruining the product there. You immediately think of Texas Motor Speedway and you think of Kentucky Speedway when they added banking to turn 1 and 2 and narrowed the width of the track there. I'm hoping that's not the kind of thing they do when they get their hands on Dover International Speedway and Nashville Superspeedway, because, well, particularly with Nashville Superspeedway, I like that track the way it is. Dover's a bit meh, but like it's had great moments on the concrete, I'm not going to lie. I take a look at the 2016 race in the spring in particular. That was incredible racing. That was Dover at its best. But, I feel like, in my opinion, I would like to see them, if they're going to do anything, I would love to see them take Dover and maybe put the asphalt back on. I wouldn't be sad if they didn't do it, but... Yeah. They could, Dover's known quantity. They call it the Concrete Canyon. They call it White Lightning. They have all those different names for it that started in '95 when they put the concrete on it. But just SMI, please do us a favor. Please do not change the configuration of these racetracks. Please do not give it the Kentucky treatment. Please do not give it the Texas treatment. I know I'm not. Please don't do that. I'm not alone. You guys have the floor.
Well, yeah. Okay, so seeing as how SMI does have that really unmemorable history of taking tracks and really just repurposing them into what they choose to repurpose them to, they better not do anything to Nashville. Nashville is perfect the way that it is. Don't bother changing it at all. That's really all I can say, because there's no awesome sauce in there. There's none of that residue in there, right? There was none of that residue in there this year. Right? I don't know.
I don't think there was. They might have stuck a little bit of resin up in the top groove, but I just look back at the old Busch and truck races at Nashville. I don't even think they needed to do that, because that was a multiple groove track, even if they didn't have that stuff on there. I'm not so sure they did, though, because going back and looking at the track while the races were going on. I don't remember seeing a dark shade up there. Maybe that's just because the concrete's so bright.
Yeah,
but
maybe that's what it is. That's probably it. But
I hope they didn't. I'm going to look like a fool.
Well, one could hope. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, like one could really hope that they didn't do it. So, I mean, fingers crossed. Hopefully that they don't make any of those types of changes to Nashville specifically, because it's perfect the way that it is. This year proved it for the first time in in a decade, basically a decade. Especially with the Cup Series being there for the first time ever. So, yeah.
It was about dadgum time.
It was.
Surprised it took that long.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Hey, same with Gateway coming next year. I cannot believe it's taken as long as it has to get Madison, Illinois, a NASCAR Cup Series. Mm-hmm. It's about time.
It is about gosh darn time. Alrighty, guys. So now let's get down to the topics that are listed into this little agenda kind of deal. First off, let's talk about some of the favorite moments from the 2021 season. More so, particularly, like a favorite race, favorite moment, favorite fight on pit road, favorite fight in the press, anything that comes to mind. Spill it onto the table right now.
Sean, I'll let you go first with this one.
I think really favorite moment I've got to say that have it on the track was when McDowell won the 500. That was something that, for even someone who has been part of the series for so long, McDowell kind of was racing really well that night and was able to win that race.
Yeah.
I think any sort of fight I didn't see any good fights this year besides Grayson and
eventual champion
Hemrick. Those two just
especially with how it transpired, man. Just like it all started when Gregson kept backing up, and then right into Hemrick's car.
About that.
Yeah, that's why the fight happened.
Oh my gosh.
That was probably one, and it happened so many times when those two just butted heads.
Exactly, dude.
How did that manage to fly under my radar?
I guess you kind of forgot about it.
And it was.
Well, I mean, when you have a 33 race season that goes from February to November, it can happen.
It's true.
Man, though that was kind of nuts. That was nuts.
Yeah. But anything else I have?
All right, Josh, how about you, man? How about you?
Well, oh man, I don't even know where to start with this year. But like Fox, had the moniker in their commercial at the start of this year. This might be the greatest season of all time, like ever. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was better than 2016, which at least now I consider to be the best NASCAR season I've ever seen. But I just think back, my best race, my favorite race of the season by far was the Southern 500. That's basically been consistent for me for the last, gosh, I don't know. Well, last year, not really, but there were there was a race at Darlington. That was there were 3 races at Darlington last year, and I think the midweek one, the second one they had, was the best one maybe of all last season, but at least in Cup anyways. But oh man, there's so many moments. I think of Myatt Snyder winning at Homestead.
Oh yeah, that
in the
was
Xfinity
good.
Series. That it was so cool to finally see him get a win. Christopher Bell outlasting Joey Logano at the Daytona Road Course, which may or may not have happened as the result of that phony rain caution, but moving on. Michael McDowell, as you said, winning the 500. Willie B finally breaking through and getting a win in the Cup Series at Homestead. Seeing Larson's 10-win season and just complete annihilation of the field throughout the entire season was just... I know people like their parody, but when domination happens, I just gotta sit back and I gotta just respect the crap out of whoever's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing I feel like flew under a lot of people's radars, but I'm not sure it did. The giant crowds at Circuit of the Americas and Road America. That was so cool to see. They had I think they said they had 90,000 people at Circuit of the Americas, and they had over 100,000.
That's awesome.
At Road America.
That is awesome.
That is so cool to see that. That hasn't happened in so long.
I'm going to say this. Road America usually gets those giant crowds about that size.
Mm-hmm.
Coda, that's a bit iffy on that.
I don't know. They had 133,000 there for the Formula One race a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was a while ago, man. And really... go for it.
Oh, just one more thing One more big thing I'll mention here is I'll mention the double-headed party in the Poconos. I'll talk about that with Bowman coming. Oh, first off, the doubleheader. Both of the races were actually fairly decent this year. I feel like a lot of people enjoyed that, but that late battle with Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman, thought for sure Larson had it, and then he didn't. Goodyear's failed him in the final corner. Bowman got by, and Bowman the Showman won. Yeah. And then Kyle Busch. We actually had pit strategy in a stage race. I think NASCAR said the week leading up to that, you really don't want to have to worry about pit strategy for these races. We had pit strategy.
Yeah, right.
We actually had pit strategy. And it was amazing. And Kyle Busch played the strategy game right and got up there and won that race. And golly, me as being kind of a road course guy too. I've really warmed up to road courses in the last couple years, and all the road course races we saw this year. Sonoma was actually really interesting this year. With the carousel. And Daytona, I thought, was good. Road America was decent first race. Coda has a few issues to work out, mainly involving the weather and how NASCAR dries up the track. I'm looking at you officiating. Watch that back straightaway. The curbing in Indianapolis. It's just a bunch of minor tweaks of officiating they need to hammer out. But other than New Hampshire, Eric Almirola winning at New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes, that was so awesome. He actually got a win at a place other than a super speedway before Justin Haley did.
Yes. And on top of that, he was the only Stewart-Haas car that won this year.
How wild is that, dude?
It is. That's crazy.
How nuts is that? Herbst didn't even win anything in Xfinity, which it's Herbst, but...
Yeah, what can you expect?
He got close a couple times, I'll give him.
Right.
He did, but...
Credit where credit's due.
Right. Basically.
Oh, also, one more thing. I'm sorry. I keep thinking I'm done, but I always think of one more thing. Oh man, old Atlanta.
Old
Atlanta with the 24 degrees and the old worn out surface. That 400 miler in July, I would say, with the exception of the Southern 500, in my opinion, that was race of the year. I enjoyed the heck out of that race so much. Atlanta's not really had the best of races since 2017, as the surface has just gotten older and older and older. I'm just so happy that not only the old surface, but the old configuration, because they're raising the banking in the turns leading up to the next gen car next year. Who knows how that's going to work out? But it was so good to see the old, well, not old, but old as in like 1997 to now. It was so good to see that old surface, that old chewing up tire, and the tire strategy, Atlanta. It was so cool to see a good race come out of that one more time before who knows in 2022. I hope it's not far off from what we had. I'm a bit worried because I know they're going for pack racing, but if we don't get that and we get something that's like what we saw in July, or what we saw maybe 2017 on back with cars slipping and sliding all over the place, hey, I'm all for it. I know that's not what they're going for, but I don't like what they're going for.
Right. Exactly.
Come on now.
Come on, NASCAR.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Come on, man.
SMI, not NASCAR.
Well, SMI, but SMI, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I hope it doesn't end up being another kind of Kentucky and Texas deal.
I hope not, man. I mean, Kentucky, for what it was, at least for the last two races that it ever hosted, it was good. It was all right.
Had a couple of good finishes, but
finishes in particular.
I'll be dadgummed if Kentucky before that wasn't just, my gosh.
Yeah, I'd say go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I just want to add one more thing about Kentucky, though. The bad thing about, I think, the way Kentucky is now, granted, IndyCar goes to Texas with 20 and 24 degree bank turns, but you think about like the Charlotte configuration a mile and a half, so you think of Las Vegas. Kentucky has a 20 degree bank in turn 1 and 2. The last race IndyCar had there was 14 degrees all around, which is what it was up to 2015, when they decided, hey, we're going to reconfigure this. Where these guys are, it's not good enough or something. Even though 2015 was like the best Kentucky race ever.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But I'm not sure how, if NASCAR is not going back, I don't know what could go to Kentucky, because I seriously doubt IndyCar is going to want to go there again, because they raised the banking in turn 1 and 2. They shrunk the width of the track down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what that future for the track holds. I hope Atlanta. I hope it doesn't turn into something where, granted, they're probably going to have to cut a date from Atlanta at some point, because I talked about how good that July Atlanta race was, but that crowd, man, holy smokes, that was bad.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't end up on the chopping block. I feel like Texas Motor Speedway is on its way to the chopping block, especially with having COTA now. Which, it being the track nearest to me, it would stink, but at least I could say I have another track to go to in my home state.
You're right. That's
more than what those people in Kentucky can say.
Yeah. But I'd say for me, yeah, Daytona, first of all, with the 500, that was wild. But
yeah,
I'm actually kind of surprised that nobody has mentioned the Clash. you remember the Clash, man.
Oh, shoot!
The finish of the
Dadgummit!
Clash. Sean, that stink face
my
that just
gosh!
showed up on your face.
That was,
I don't want.
oh yeah,
for
the
my-
best Clash
Dude, the
maybe
Clash.
that I've ever seen.
I'd say so. For the first
No
Clash that was
joke.
on the road course, man, that was
Oh
actually
my
pretty
gosh.
good. Just, and the fact was, you know, the last lap. First of all, the thing about that Clash was Harvick had
Maybe
like
was gone, man.
Harvick was in trouble like 3 different times in that race. And
Same with Truex, man.
Truex didn't have as much trouble as Harvick did. But the finish to that race, though, oh my gosh, that finish was
Global 2018 all over again.
yeah.
The only way I would say that race was good was only the finish. I didn't think anything else was good.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But still,
Well, I mean, I know he's not the only one that had that opinion. I just don't agree with your opinion. Maybe that's because I like a lot of road course racing. Maybe that's it.
maybe.
I'm minimum of road course racing, but not a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a motorsports fan more so than a NASCAR fan now. I couldn't say that in 2016 because like ever since then my taste has gone outside of NASCAR. It's like IndyCar, Formula One, IMSA, and Formula One's all road courses. IMSA is all road courses. IndyCar, you have a few ovals in there, but mostly road courses.
Yeah.
And yet like BTCC also all road courses. And I don't know. I've fallen in love with road course racing. It's like Formula One. You know, you have a few stinkers on there. You have your Sochi. You have well, they didn't go to Shanghai this year, but that your feet will stay warm there because your socks ain't getting blown off.
Yeah.
But like, with the exception of Nashville and the Texas doubleheader, like IndyCar had probably the best IndyCar season I've ever seen, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Formula One, it's still going. Which they're heading to Interlagos this next weekend. If you're gonna tune in to any Formula One race, that's one of the big ones there. That's one of the best ones to tune into. Interlagos, one of the greatest racetracks of all time. I'd love to see NASCAR go there, but I know that's kind of a logistical nightmare, but still.
Oh yeah, that would be a
Also,
nice.
The Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta this next weekend. Oh, I'm looking forward to that, but it's going to hurt to say goodbye to IMSA this year, man.
Mm-hmm, man. Let's see. Another one. Yeah, like I said, the Daytona 500 itself. That one was a good one. Especially the finish. Some of my favorite moments. I mean, as far as... Okay. So let's see. The Bristol Dirt Race. Something about it. I mean, when it came to trucks, was actually really funny. So, John Hunter Nemechek was involved in a crash, right? He gets involved in a wreck. It knocks him out of the race. He's mad. But the funny thing was, I believe it was either one of the safety trucks or his truck itself. But it definitely involved John Hunter Nemechek's truck getting more damage. And he wasn't even in the truck. And funny thing was, the truck actually did make that kind of sound that Josh made with his water bottle.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I had this muted. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Oh, man, but that was funny. And then the Briscoe-Hamlin scuffles, especially at the Indy Road Course, and how messy that was. The finish especially, but still Allmendinger with the win. Gotta give him credit there.
Was I not using this mic?
You were not using that mic.
Okay, that explains it. Okay. My apologies.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh my gosh,
Alright.
though, but still, I mean, there's a lot of good moments from this year. I wish I could go through them all, but I can't. I swear, Wyatt is
What?
online, and he hasn't even come back.
Somebody ping him.
I bet he forgot.
Do we need to ping him in general?
I got him. I got
Yeah,
him.
right.
He's missing out, man. He's missing out.
Yeah, we're in the topics here. He missed out on.
He missed out on the grades. He missed. he missed
out
on SMI.
and now he's missing out on our favorite parts of the year.
Watch this. Watch. He'll probably be like, "Oh, I can't come in, guys."
If he does that, we'll just keep going without him.
Might as well have to. We're gonna keep going anyway. It doesn't matter.
Just give him like his own special of this, the Wyatt special, because we gotta make up for it.
Exactly.
Now this is the last one. After this, we're done.
We're done for the
Bonus edition.
year. All right.
Why can go do his own thing?
All right. So now that we have reflected on some of the favorite moments, let's reflect on some moments from reflect on this season of the show and of the NASCAR season itself. Like, what'd you guys think? What were some of your favorite moments from this show in particular, from this year? You know, just go for it, man. Go for it.
I'll let you go first again, Sean.
Oh man, I know there hasn't been that much funny stuff that we've had on the show this year, unlike previous years, in my opinion. So
Well, there was that one time when you were making predictions for the Daytona Road Course. You chose Ryan Blaney, I think, as your driver to stay away from, and then your power went out, and you froze there for a solid 2 minutes.
yeah. Well,
Oh my
okay, that
gosh.
wasn't a funny moment on my part because again, that was during that whole snowstorm thing that was happening in my area.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you forget?
The
Texas had
great
that,
Lone Star freeze of 2021.
which was also happening during that whole reaction stream that you held, Elijah, of the 500. I had
I was
the power.
actually Sorry. I'll let you
the-
finish that.
On and off, and you couldn't do much because it was just so bad. But I don't think. But like some of the things that I don't know. I think probably some of the funniest things that we all laughed about was when Wyatt always had his ringtone going off.
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
I think the first time was it was, even though it was so recent, it was like what 10, 15 episodes ago when we first heard a ringtone,
Exactly.
and we all just started busting out laughing.
Exactly, man.
Especially-
that was funny.
Especially when it got to like your cup hits, I believe, or beginning of your pits.
It was closer to the end of my Xfinity predictions.
It was around there, and we all started laughing, and I think that was something that was really funny just to have right there because we didn't expect that happening at all.
Yeah.
But what transpired to NASCAR, my only reflection is it was just another season, really. I can't really give it that much.
Okay. Josh?
All right. So, I know I joined in on this a little late, and I haven't been able to be here for every week since my first time on here. Particularly last week, which, well, I wish I was here because I had a whole lot of stuff to talk about last week. Mainly about the Bowman and Hamlin deal, but I just remember, I guess, first off, the first time I came on, it was not during the freeze, but I was still was talking about something, and this was the weekend before Talladega, I think.
Yep.
Las Vegas, because I made sure I came on because I wanted to rip that weekend to shreds. because of how terrible that cup race was. But anyway, I was in the middle of saying something, and then Discord decides it's going to do an update, and I come back in here, and Wyatt is wheezing his pancreas out.
Yes.
and
that was awesome.
And I'm pretty sure I actually picked Bubba Wallace as my underdog for that. I was hesitant on whether I was going to jokingly pick him to win or not. I almost actually did. I wish I had now.
But either way, you still got the point.
Oh man. But I like having this little place here to talk about racing and to talk about this stuff, because I didn't really have any other place to talk about it. Well, I could make my own thing and talk about it, but
right,
which I am thinking about doing, actually, not necessarily at like something like this, but more of more than just NASCAR, right? Yeah, kind of like this weekend in motorsport as a whole, like Formula One, IndyCar, IMSA, NASCAR.
Yeah,
stuff that a lot of people might not necessarily care about because they probably just come for NASCAR, which I understand, or some just come for IndyCar, just for Formula One, or regardless, you get where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, what was it? It was what was it that was it Taylor that picked? No, he wasn't in here for a show for that, was he? He picked a Rick. Who was it that picked a Rick Ware car to finish in the top 10? Oh wait, that was Daytona. Never mind.
Yeah, he chose Bilicki.
Why did I think it was Talladega?
He chose. I mean, at that time, he chose Bilicki as his dark horse.
Talladega? I don't know why I thought it was Talladega, but golly,
man, it's been a while. You know?
This was a fun year, kind of to just sit back and just watch everything happen, and then come here to either celebrate it or complain about it. It was one of those seasons, but I feel like it was more on the positive than the negative, which I'm very happy to say, because I don't really feel like last year was that case, whether that was because of COVID-19 or not. But
right,
all in all, it's a nice refreshing way for 2021 to have gone, with like any difficult time I've had, like with settling into college, which has been rough, but
yeah,
always have racing, always have sports to come back to, and I'm glad to say I have enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, especially like NASCAR, Formula One, and just motorsport, as I mentioned. But I'll tell you one thing here. 1 second, I'll be right back.
I'll tell you one thing right here. 1 sec, I'll be right back.
So talking about sports though, these dang Rockets.
Oh,
They're 1-9.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Well, cover your eyes, people. Cover your eyes.
what's our?
Oh, he's a Mavericks fan or a Spurs fan.
Uh,
Yeah. But
sorry.
my gosh, it looks like it's going to be another year like last year where I think we only had like 15 wins, 50 something losses. Hopefully not, but and it's starting off like another one of those, but I still love my Rockets. I'm going to pull for them, but it will be rough.
No, right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. All right. So for favorite moments of like this, just the show in general, the couple times. I mean, every time you chose. Well, first of all, let's get this one out of the way. Every time you chose Joey Logano as a driver to stay away from, Wyatt would just absolutely go bonkers.
That is anybody who chooses Logano, why gets a thumbs up.
Yes, exactly.
And we don't have to go for the whole bad story. You've seen it in previous videos. It's pretty obvious.
If you know, you know. And then, and then, on top of that, all of y'all. This is one I'm not most proud of, but all y'all keep saying Mr. Grandpa's Money is my favorite guy, when you all know that is not the case at all. Unlike some people, I don't root for Grandpa's Money. I don't root for a Kyle Busch jizzed car that pulls out to a 55-second lead and laps everyone and has a win handed over to him.
Oh my goodness, when Ty Gibbs wins a cup championship one of these years.
I think that would be the day Elijah quits watching NASCAR.
I swear, if he gets handed a cup ride and he gets handed a championship, that will be the day where I quit NASCAR.
See, what if he wins 2 Xfinity Series championships? Is that still considered getting handed to?
That's when I would quit watching Xfinity.
Okay.
If he were to win 1 Xfinity title, it'd be like, nope, I'm done. I'm done watching Xfinity.
Even though we would still have to talk about it either way.
We still have to talk about it. Or no, if Ty Gibbs were to win the Xfinity title, say next year, should he get a full-time ride, which chances of that still pretty high. Yeah, because he'll get handed a cup ride, and then he'll get handed every single win in the Xfinity Series season, and then he'll get handed the Xfinity Series title at this point. Then he'll get handed a cup ride, and then wins will be handed over to him, and then he'll have an Xfinity cup title handed over to him. You might as well.
Let me ask you this. If he came out and had another Martin Truex Jr. type performance in the Coca-Cola 600 in 2016, if he led like that many laps, is that still considered handing it to him?
Yes. Truex is an entirely different story. Listen, Truex won that off of pure dominance. He only led what? All but 4 laps?
8.
All but 8?
392 of 40 laps.
All but 8. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. But still, though, I mean, a lot of other people have had similar dominating performances. Like, you go back to Brad Keselowski, 2014 at Richmond. He led 393 out of the 383 out of the 400 laps. Okay, Okay, but yeah, he was pretty dominant in that race. Joey Logano, 2015 in the Xfinity Series, led every single lap.
At Dover, right?
No, Bristol.
Yeah,
that was Bristol.
One of those years it was Dover, but
yeah, still though, man, like you'll have drivers that will have their dominating performances, whether it be they lead all but a few laps or if they lead every single lap, and a lot of that to me just comes from, I I'd say the talent that is put together with the equipment. Ty Gibbs is simply equipment. So no, they would not be earning it for Ty Gibbs. He would have it handed over to him.
I can feel your anger.
Yes, you can.
Take your Jedi weapon. I am unarmed. Use it. Give in to your hatred.
I don't know why we're going Star Wars here.
We're going Star Wars up in
The
this.
hate is swelling within you.
Let's go back down there.
Oh man, just the rants, man. The rants I felt were awesome. I felt, in my opinion, were kind of good and legitimate, because you remember at the beginning of the year, the Daytona Road Course and Ty Gibbs' debut. You remember that? You remember that overtime finish? Do you remember when they go into the first corner? Ty Gibbs' car goes through the grass. You saw a bunch of that dirt kick up. You saw some grass kick up in the air. And that car was not damaged at all. He literally jammed on the throttle. He pussied around Austin Cindric and drove away to 50 seconds and basically had that win handed over to him. That car was invincible. And just as I said, throttle down to the floor, I literally put my throttle like all the way down on my sim racing rig.
I think this is where most of the salt just has come
And
from.
then he pussied around Austin Cindric again at Charlotte. Unsponsored car and all. And undeservingly won Charlotte. Watkins Glen pussied his way around AJ Allmendinger and pulled out to a 35-second lead. What felt like a 35-second lead, and won there. And then Kansas. The Ty Gibbs 300.
No, it was the Austin Cindric 284.
284.
And then it was the Ty Gibbs 16.
But still, Ty Gibbs pulls out to a 102-second advantage. Laps everybody about 3-4 times and win. I know I'm blowing that way out of proportion, but hey, that's me being salty. I can be salty about this if I want to.
You're just hearing the cap. You're just hearing cap coming out.
You know, I wish all those wins were cap, but unfortunately, I can't say that.
That's cap.
But yeah, I think we've had some of us have brought some salt into this show. Some of us more than others, but yeah, there has been salt been thrown, mostly a lot during this show this year.
Yeah.
And mine's not been about drivers. It was all about that 550 horsepower. Vegas and Texas,
dude. I'd say this is one of the best parts of the show. The salt.
Yeah. I think I've complained about trads, races, mostly everything on my salt.
C plus.
C plus.
I don't know what was my worst grading I gave, except for the not rated one that I gave for one time.
No, yeah,
because I missed the whole weekend and didn't even see highlights.
Right.
Which
I think. Go ahead.
It was like right there at that moment. I couldn't give a good answer.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
I think the worst grade I gave, I don't think it was Vegas. I think it was Texas. I think it was a D- that I gave Texas.
I think I gave the road course a D.
In fact, I may have flunked Texas actually.
I don't think anybody's gone down to an F.
No, at least not what I know.
I thought about flunking Texas now.
I
thought about it.
Unless somebody did, but to my opinion, and to my knowledge, I haven't heard anybody give it an F.
I haven't seen that either. At least not yet. We'll see when 2022 comes around. But speaking of 2022, here we come to the next topic. What to expect, man? This was the goodbye race to the Gen 6 car, and hello to the next gen. The year where everything changes. Clean slate. No notes on this car. Well, some notes, but not a whole lot of knowledge on this car yet. 1 lug nut. 5 gears. Sequential shifting. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What do you think we're going to have to expect out of 2022?
Man, it might end up being really crazy if like you talk about like the unknown, like totally new car, totally new wheel setup. The pit choreography will be the same, but instead of hearing rah, 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 you hear rah. Yeah. I think the skew to the front numbers is going to be it's going to take some time to get used to for most people. If you do the painting right, though, I'm pretty sure you can have every scheme out there look good. Hey, just look to the some of these designers on Twitter. They'll hook you up. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be weird not seeing Chip Ganassi Racing on the grid next year, and it's going to be strange not seeing Starcom on the grid. Keselowski not being in a Penske car.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness,
and Newman, and also on top of that,
and Newman.
Yeah, we may not see Newman again.
Best of luck with your future ventures, man. I don't know if you have anything planned, but best of luck to you. And I don't know if we ever figured out where Ryan Preece is going to end up, if anywhere, next year. But yeah. We're saying goodbye to JTG's 37 car at the end of this year too. That they ran that thing completely without a charter this year, and that's it. They're downsizing to 1 car for next year with the next gen. Rick Ware Racing might become Rick Where Did They Come From Racing next year. We'll just have to see how that alliance with SHR works out. If this year was any indication, particularly in Cup, I don't think it's going to work out very good. But
so you'll see it.
I know they're running 670 horsepower at the road courses and the short tracks, and no, that's it. For the next gen car, 550 at the intermediates and 470, I would assume, at the super speedways. I don't know if the 550 dynamic is going to be the same for the next gen car as it was this year and back to 2019. I hope not, personally. But if it is, I just hope that by and large we get more of what we saw at the Spring of Vegas this year in the Cup Series. But goodness gracious, we got NASCAR getting a new car in the Cup Series, and then also over in Formula One they got a new car too. So I don't know about y'all, I'm really looking forward to seeing how 2022 goes here with all the unknowns that we have coming next year.
Alrighty, Sean, how about you?
I'm still kind of iffy on how this will go. Because, again, yeah, it's a brand new car, but everyone's thinking this is going to be great. I don't know. I know I don't have very high expectations. And I just gotta get used to something like that, just that car alone. Especially for the tracks we're going to next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be where it really is how I'm either gonna think this is gonna be good, or I'm going to have a difficult time experiencing how this racing is.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those deals where it's just the big mystery of like, oh, what to expect, what's going to happen, you know? I mean, like, because we haven't even hit Daytona yet, and we don't even know what 40 next-gen cars in a pack are going to look like. We don't know what a short track race for the next gen is going to look like. We don't know what a mile-and-a-half race for the Gen 7 is going to look like. So there's a lot of unknowns right now. I mean, so once that year comes around, it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. But man, oh man, 2022 is going to be the year of the unknown when it comes to Cup. So we'll see what happens, man. Alrighty, so when we come back, there's one more thing I gotta say, and then we're gonna sign off the show, so don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Checker flag coming up here.
Yep, here it comes.
White flag. One more thing to go.
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Well, welcome back to the final episode of the year. And first of all, I do want to say from the bottom of my heart, I mean, this honestly, never thought that we would make it almost every single week for this show, but managed to pull through. I mean, every single panelist here, from Sean Ard to Zachary Taylor to Wyatt Walker to Josh as well, who recently joined in. I mean, a little late, but still, man, he joined in regardless, no matter the fact. And man, I mean, to see all this have just come together throughout the span of these last 10 months or so, man, that's absolutely fantastic. Special thanks to the panelists for being here, and special thanks to everybody else who would watch the episodes whenever you could. You guys are really the ones that really make this happen, and even the panelists here that join in every week, they're the ones that make this happen as well. So I mean, if it hadn't been for them, and if it hadn't been for you guys watching whenever you can, this really wouldn't have been possible, and I probably would have completely put this show on the shelf. Which, speaking of which, there have been some things that I may have said that I apparently would be cutting off the Pit Stop Show entirely, putting it on the shelf, never to touch it again. I think I made a video of that a while back. I can't remember, but I've actually been doing some thinking. And to be honest, I really enjoy this show. This is a show that I started doing since 2016, back when it was known as the NRLA podcast, and then moved over to the WRLA podcast, then what became what it is now, the NASCAR Pit Stop Show, which I did back in 2019, even though a lot of those other episodes are long gone. With the exception of a small handful of episodes from 2016 that were still labeled as NRLA podcast, so you might be able to find them. Just type in NRLA podcast, you'll see them. But I've been doing some thinking, and I've been doing this show for the last 5 years. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going with this show, man. The NASCAR Pit Stop Show returns in 2022, and oh boy, we're going to be covering the unknown. We're going to be doing the same things that we've been doing all year this year. Let's just be ourselves. Let's just give our honest opinion. Let's give the debates. Let's spice things up here on the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. This is nothing but a whole spice train that we have just concocted over the last year. So Oh, I mean, this, honestly, to me, I'm excited. I hope everybody else is. 2022 is going to be pretty good. I can definitely tell you that for sure. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I'm certainly I'm selfishly glad that you aren't choosing to end this. I'm looking forward to doing this again.
Absolutely, and as am I. I'm really looking forward to doing this show again next year. It's gonna be fun. Bring on 2022, man! Bring it on.
Absolutely, please, absolutely.
So yes, the show's coming back next year. I'm really excited. It's gonna be fun. And maybe somewhere along the line, I will probably be doing this in a little bit of a different setting. I don't know yet, but we'll see what happens later on down the road. So you'll hear more news about it later. But anyways, that's going to do it for me. That's going to do it for all these other panelists that have joined the show over the last 10 months. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like. And if you haven't considered subscribing, I recommend you do so in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. That's going to do it for the NASCAR Pit Stop Show 2021. And we'll hope to see you guys in 2022. On behalf of Josh Tipton and as well as Sean Ard and Wyatt Walker, as well as our other panelist, Zachary Taylor, who unfortunately is not here, but still, oh well. I'm Elijah Leonard signing out. And as far as the NASCAR Pit Stop Show, we'll see you in 2022.
See you next year, everyone.